What we're going to show you now will scare you. They used artificial intelligence to make a terrifying discovery, and the result was even more surreal. Watch until the end and discover shocking discoveries that are beyond imagination. Are you curious? Join us, and let's go. Number 17. The Ghost Ship of Sutton Hoo. In 1939, archaeologists found something that seemed impossible, the ghostly mark of a buried Viking ship. But this was no ordinary ship. It was a 90-foot vessel filled with treasures that defied logic. Ground-penetrating radar showed that the ship's design was far too advanced for its time. The helmet found, reconstructed from hundreds of fragments, had a protective system that would only be invented in World War II. Modern technology has revealed that the metal used in some of the pieces had a composition that was impossible for the time, an alloy that we can only create in a laboratory today. Number 16. The Viking Ships of the Future. Recent excavations of Viking ships have revealed technologies that would not have existed 1,000 years ago. The design of the hulls was based on aerodynamic principles that would not be discovered until the 20th century. Navigational instruments found on the ships show astronomical knowledge that was far too advanced for the time. The most frightening part? Some ships had markings and symbols that, when decoded by AI, revealed routes to places that would not be discovered until centuries later. How did the Vikings know about lands that had not yet been explored? Modern technology suggests that they had access to knowledge that defies our understanding of time. Number 15. The Carbonized Scrolls of Herculaneum, a literary treasure trove frozen in time. In 79 AD, when Mount Vesuvius erupted, an entire library was buried in Herculaneum. Thousands of scrolls were preserved in the ash, but they were so fragile that they crumbled at the slightest touch. For 2,000 years, their secrets remained hidden. Then, in 2023, a revolutionary machine changed everything. A super X-ray, the size of Wembley Stadium, with a power 10 billion times stronger than the sun, began to reveal words that had been hidden for millennia. Young scientist Brent S.E. made history by deciphering the first word, purple. But that was just the beginning. The texts revealed philosophical discussions about pleasure and music that possibly belonged to Julius Caesar's father-in-law. The discovery suggests that these ancient Romans had much more advanced ideas than we imagined. They debated complex concepts of happiness and desire that are still relevant today. The scariest part? Some texts appear to contain warnings about future events that have come true. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 14. The Secret Voices of Pompeii. On the walls of Pompeii, a city frozen in time, thousands of messages were waiting to be discovered. These weren't just graffiti, they were the social media of ancient Rome. Thanks to ultra-powerful digital imaging technology, secrets invisible to the naked eye have been revealed. AI scanned every inch of the walls and found chilling patterns, warnings of impending destruction, mysterious codes, and even detailed descriptions of future events. The messages reveal a society that knew far more than it should have. Some people clearly tried to warn about the Vesuvius disaster, but no one listened. Most disturbing? Some messages accurately describe events that would only happen centuries later. It's as if some people in Pompeii had access to information that shouldn't have existed at the time. Number 13. The Voices of the Neanderthals. Forget about the idea of cavemen grunting. Modern technology has revealed something terrifying about Neanderthals. Using 3D models of their skulls and throats, scientists have discovered that they could produce more complex sounds than modern humans. Their vocal cords allowed for a range of frequencies that our most modern music devices can barely reproduce. The hyoid bone, crucial for speech, had unique features that suggest extraordinary vocal capabilities. Stranger still, computer simulations indicate that they could emit sounds that the modern human ear cannot process. Did they have a communication system beyond our current understanding? Number 12. The Sunken City of Dwarka. Deep in the Indian Ocean, a discovery has changed everything we knew about ancient civilizations. Using underwater robots and ultra-powerful sonar, scientists have discovered an entire underwater city. This wasn't just any city. It was the legendary Dwarka, long considered a myth. The underwater structures are gigantic, perfectly aligned streets, enormous walls, and a harbor that would dwarf our modern ports. The most shocking thing? Carbon dating has shown that some of the structures are older than the pyramids of Egypt. The artifacts found include jewelry with designs that were impossible for the time, and anchors made of metal alloys that can only be reproduced with modern technology. How did they manage to do this thousands of years ago? Number 11. The star disk of Nebra. Imagine finding a map of the sky that's over 3,600 years old. The Nebra disk isn't just any old object, it's proof that our ancestors knew a lot more than we think. Made of bronze and decorated with gold symbols, this disk depicts the sun, moon, and stars with frightening precision. The craziest part, when scientists used ultra-modern cameras to analyze every detail, they discovered that the symbols show astronomical events that wouldn't happen until thousands of years later. 3D analysis revealed microscopic marks that suggest tools that shouldn't have existed in the Bronze Age. How did they achieve such precision without telescopes? Some symbols even show space phenomena that we only discovered with modern satellites. Number 10. The mysterious code of the Indus Valley. In the land where one of the world's oldest civilizations was born, a code has resisted all attempts to translate it for decades. The Indus Valley once held a writing system that defied human comprehension. Now, AI-powered supercomputers have discovered something shocking. It wasn't just a collection of random symbols, but a complex system that combines sounds and ideas in ways never before seen. The technology has revealed that this ancient civilization had developed a method of communication so sophisticated that it makes our modern systems seem basic. The algorithms have identified patterns that suggest they had advanced knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and even weather forecasting. Even more surprising, some of the symbols appear to describe events that would not happen for thousands of years. It was as if they had created a time machine in the form of writing. Number 9. The Austrian Gladiator School. Beneath the tranquil fields of Austria, scientists have made a discovery that has changed everything we knew about gladiators. A special radar has revealed a complete gladiator school with details that have left experts speechless. But it wasn't just the structures that caught the eye, it was the disturbing discoveries inside them. Preserved documents have revealed fighting techniques that would only be invented centuries later. The gladiators had anatomical knowledge far beyond their time. Stranger still, they have found descriptions of equipment that closely resemble modern technology. How did they know all this? The discoveries suggest that this school was not just a training center, but a place where advanced knowledge was kept secret. Number 8. Mayan hieroglyphics. What seemed like just a beautiful form of writing turned out to be a complex mathematical code. Massive databases and AI have discovered that Mayan hieroglyphics were not simple historical records. They were precise formulas for predicting astronomical events with an accuracy that defies logic. Not only could the Mayans accurately calculate celestial events, but they also left warnings about cosmic cycles that would affect Earth. Modern technology has revealed that their predictions of climate change and astronomical events are eerily accurate. Some newly decoded texts speak of events that are beginning to happen now, thousands of years after they were written. Number 7. The Iceman. In 1991, an icy discovery shook the scientific world. High in the Alps, hikers found a perfectly preserved body that was over 5,000 years old. Ötzi, as he was called, was no mere frozen corpse. He was a complete time capsule from the Copper Age. Modern technology has revealed shocking secrets. Mysterious tattoos that look like a primitive medical chart, a murderous arrowhead on his shoulder, and even his complete DNA. Most disturbing? Analysis of his clothing revealed sewing techniques so advanced that some experts refuse to believe they date back to that time. His gear was made of metal alloys that would only be invented thousands of years later. How did he have access to such technology? Scientists have even recreated his voice, and the frequencies found match a specific dialect that only emerged 3,000 years after his death. Number 6. The ancient fast foods of Pompeii. Everyone thinks fast food is a modern thing, but a discovery in Pompeii has proven otherwise. Scientists have found ancient fast food restaurants called thermopolia, and what was inside them is spine-chilling. Using special cameras and 3D scanners, they discovered dishes that look like they would come from a modern restaurant. Chemical analysis of the jars revealed recipes so complex that modern chefs were shocked. But the most bizarre thing was the inscriptions on the walls. Some contained recipes with ingredients that would only be discovered centuries later. How did they know about spices that didn't even exist in the region? In 2020, they found a thermopolium complete with paintings showing foods that today only exist in modern laboratories. Number 5. The Terracotta Army and its impossible DNA. China's famous army of clay warriors hides a disturbing mystery. DNA analysis of the remains of the workers who built the statues has revealed something impossible. Genetic markers that would not appear in the human population until thousands of years later. Scientists have found DNA sequences that indicate resistance to modern diseases that did not even exist at the time. How is this possible? The statues themselves have anatomical details that would only be discovered with modern technology. Each warrior has unique fingerprints, but some of them have patterns that do not exist in any known ethnic group. Number 4. The Scroll of Final War. In 1947, a shepherd made an accidental discovery that would change our understanding of ancient history. Hidden in caves near the Dead Sea, the War Scrolls revealed detailed plans for an apocalyptic conflict between the forces of good and evil. The text, preserved by the dry desert air, describes with eerie accuracy military formations, weaponry, and tactics of war that seem beyond their time. Modern technology has revealed even more disturbing details. Specific ages of warriors, descriptions of weapons that resemble modern equipment, and military strategies that would not be invented until millennia later. Most frighteningly, some of the predictions described in the text have begun to materialize in recent years. Number 3. The treasure that came from nowhere. Man, just imagine finding a treasure with 180 pieces of gold and silver that no one really knows where it came from. The treasure of Oxus is like those mysterious chests in pirate movies, only real. Scientists were amazed when they analyzed the pieces. You know that microscope that looks like something out of a science fiction movie? Then it showed that the metal used has a composition that makes no sense at all for the time. The markings on the jewelry are so precise that they look like they were made by modern machines, not by ancient craftsmen. The worst part? Many pieces were melted down before the scientists arrived, and the ones that are left show technology that shouldn't have existed thousands of years ago. Number 2. Tutankhamun's space dagger. In the tomb of the young pharaoh, a dagger held a secret that only modern technology has been able to reveal. Using X-ray spectrometry, scientists discovered that the blade was made of meteoritic iron. But the story gets even stranger. Detailed analysis has shown that the manufacturing process used was impossible for the time. The chemical composition of the blade has patterns that we can only replicate with modern technology. How did the ancient Egyptians do this? Documents found with the dagger speak of gifts from the gods and contain complex mathematical formulas that appear to describe the principles of modern metallurgy. It is as if someone had given the Egyptians knowledge far beyond their time. Number 1. The unicorn. Everyone thought was a lie. That unicorn from the children's stories? Well, it really existed. Okay, it wasn't that cute little horse with a shiny horn, but a giant rhinoceros called Elasmotherium sibiricum. In 2016, they found a skull of this animal in Kazakhstan, and guess what? It's much more recent than everyone thought. Carbon dating showed that this unicorn was walking around only 29,000 years ago. Like our ancestors came face to face with it. It was the size of a mammoth and had a giant horn on its forehead. The craziest thing? They found drawings in caves that show them using this animal in rituals that no one can explain. Now, what if you found a scary giant in a cave? What would you do? Well, click on this video that is appearing on the screen and go check it out. Take advantage and click now to watch because I have separated it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.